Most people think that this project is so complicated, but no, it is one of the easiest things you can sew next to an envelope pillow. Of course, with my method, because I like to uncomplicate projects for you to accomplish them easily. Let's get started. Hi, Stars. I'm Valerie. I help you to uncomplicate design and decor projects for your home through simple DIY and decor ideas. On the table, we have the materials that we will need, which is just a piece of what I call cotton calico fabric. It's fairly medium weight, and then I do have some printed fabric here. You will see what I use it to do in just a minute. But the reason why this project is so easy is because we're doing it from one piece of fabric here, and we're using a 9x9 template. Now, it doesn't matter so much what the size of your panel is, Mark. You have to make sure you make it big enough if you want a bigger hamper, right? If you just want a small bag, then you can make it a smaller size. The most important thing is that the template is square. I am using a 9x9 square template here, right? Which I've just cut out of cardboard, which I got like with the fabric wrapped around it. And what I'm going to do is put the template in the corner here. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark the template out. And I'm doing that in all four corners of the fabric panel. Now that I am done marking out the corners, I am going to go ahead and cut out the squares in each corner, or the square in each corner. And I'm not throwing away the pieces I cut out because they can be used to make something else. Your basket is, our hamper is going to be as deep as the length of your template. So if you want it deeper, then you have to make a bigger template. Say this is 9x9. If I wanted this to be deeper when I'm using the template, I would have to go like maybe 12 or 13x13, but then my panel has to be also bigger, right? Now the way I'm going to get my hamper here to be deeper is to just use pieces of fabric, and I'm going to cut this panel of designer fabric sample into 4 pieces. Before I do that, I may want to get my sticker off, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my warm iron to press on the fabric here, and that should warm up my, see, yeah, that's enough, it's off, right? And so I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces, and what I did was just fold the fabric and press in the lines of the fabric. So I am going to go ahead and I am just going to pin this onto the main fabric panel that I have cut out. I'm going to pin a piece over here also. And I'm not trying to match up any pattern or anything right now. I'm just treating it as an all over pattern. There we go. I am going to pin this also. Now this is wider than this. So I'm just going to fold this over like so. And I am going to go ahead and just cut off the excess. So I just folded this over to cut off the excess hair. And I am going to go ahead and cut. Just making sure it's lined up nicely here, because I don't want to cut off more than I'm supposed to cut off. Yeah. So I go ahead and cut. And then open this back just like so. Let's turn it around. And then I'll just fold this here and then continue cutting. Now I need to get 2 pieces more with this side and this side. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on top here. Just doing it to get the size. Now, if you use a panel that's way bigger than mine, you don't have to do this. I'm just doing this because I want to augment the depth of my laundry hamper. So I'll go ahead and I'll just put my straight edge here and just draw a line and cut the fabric. Then I need to go ahead and cut this, but I'm just going to use my iron and just press in a line. All those little pieces can make smaller bags, smaller storage bags. So I am not throwing them out. Now let's finish pinning this end. This is also a good way of adding a little pattern to an otherwise plain hamper or storage bag. We'll be using French seam to stitch this hamper. So we start stitching here, and I'll show you what happens next. So I'm stitching just about a 1/4 inch from the edge. And the less pin I have in this fabric, it's better it is for me. I don't stab myself. So I'm going to take the pins out. And I'm going to stitch all 4 sides just like that. And when I stitch, I want to make sure there's not a lot of excess fabric that's left on the edge. And in a minute, you will see why. Okay, we are good. So now what we are going to do is turn the fabric inside out, just like so. And then we are going to stitch along again. So we are encasing the raw edges. That's a French seam. And that is why we don't want to have too much fabric that's left over after we have made our first stitch. So this is about a 1/4 inch from the edge. The other stitch will be just under a 1/2 inch, just to make sure we don't have any raw edges peeking through. Yeah. Now it is time to finish stitching off the corners, and we are going to start like so, because we want to finish off the front seam on the other side, not the right side, because it's not really a reversible hamper, but we want to use the French seams so that we have a clean finish. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to spend a couple minutes and I'm going to trim off excess. I want to have as little fabric as possible on the inside of this front seam. And we want to do it and make sure that we do not cut into the stitch that we just made. Now we are moving on. We are going to flip the hamper inside out. And we're going to do the same thing we did when we attached the pattern fabric to it. So let's stitch. There we go. We are done stitching the corners. So now we are going to do just about a 1 inch double hem at the top. I'm going to measure as I go and stitch. So let's just choose to start right here. So I'm going to measure 1 inch. That's 1 inch. And then I am going to go ahead and flip again because we're doing a 1 inch double hem. And I am going to start right here. Okay. So then in this corner here, we are going to measure 1 inch, fold here, and then fold again. We're just going to keep stitching until we're all the way around. Just like that, we are done. That's it, home stars. We have our laundry hamper, storage bag, just like that, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. If you enjoy the tutorial, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let me hear. Also, subscribe and share. You take good care now. I can't wait to connect with you again when we continue to uncomplicate DIY decor projects that will help to make our homes cozy, comfy, and complete. Mwah. Love you guys.